Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome to you. Juma Mubarak. Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. We're running away from shaitan into the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not as you think or what your opinion is. It is according to what Allah thinks. And Allah has sent prophets to show us the way, what He thinks. He is not revealing to people individually what He thinks too. Everyone thinking that they have become prophets now. They speak directly from Allah. No. Protocol is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent prophets to speak on His behalf. And when those prophets, they pass, they have inheritors who speak on their behalf. Otherwise, being on the Siratul Mustaqim, you may deviate. Because you start making stuff up. You start making things up. You start having opinions. Your opinions are according to your age, to your emotions, to your experience, to whether you're hungry or you're not hungry that day, isn't it? Those who have real opinions about Islam, about religion, about spirituality, they're not going to be affected by hunger, by emotions. They're not going to be affected whether they're rich or they're poor. They are already not people of this world. They are people of Akhirat. So they may speak from the Akhirat language. They may speak from the Akhirat knowledge and the Akhirat wisdom. You understand? So, we're running away from shaitan and shaitanic characteristics, from people outside and from our own inside shaitanic characteristics, and running to the protection of Allah, His Prophet, and His friends. This is, in essence, what Islam is, and this is simple, in essence, what tariqat is. People now trying to make something to be so complicated, to be so dogmatic, to be so philosophical, to be so mystical. It is not. It is difficult. Yes, of course it's difficult for your ego, but it's very easy for your spirit. And if you cannot explain something that you believe in, that means your belief is not 100%. If you cannot explain to a 7-year-old and a 70 years old what you believe in and what is important and what is not important, if you cannot explain your spirituality, if you cannot explain your religion, that a 7-year-old will understand and accept, and a 70-year-old will understand and accept. If you cannot give explanation, that means you yourself, you have not found the truth. You're still borrowing from here and from there. You're not hooking on to the power stations coming from heavenly sources. So we're running away from shaitan and shaitanic characteristics. And we are here in tariqat, tasawwuf. I don't like to use the word Sufism because it's so misunderstood now. Sufi has become just like a game. Goofy Sufi. It's just about visions and about love without understanding what that love, which is sacrifice, and just feel good. We look to the Sahaba Kiram. No matter how much that one knows, for example, Hazrat Rumi and his writings, or Hazrat Ibn Arabi and his writings, is still their own opinion, because who are their role models? Hazrat Rumi and Hazrat Ibn Arabi. I'm representing two big awliya Allah, two big sultan, king-size saints. One, people understanding it to be the path of love, not the path of Shariat. Love is enough. And the other one, mystical wisdom and secret knowledges. Who are their role models? The Sahaba Kiram, the Holy Prophet ﷺ. So we are here because we have woken up a little bit. Not by ourselves, but because Maybe somewhere, somehow in our lineage, our ancestors, they open their hands and they pray for us, for the future generations. That is also the sunnah of all prophets. They pray for the future generations. And because of their prayer, and because Allah has, through His friends, awliya Allah, they have touched us a little bit for us to go through life and certain experiences to wake up, to pull ourselves away from this dunya, and to sit and to think, where am I from? Where am I going to? What am I doing here? Because they make us to wake up a little bit, not because of our own efforts again. So we are looking for a Shaykh. We found a Shaykh. And we're in association with that Shaykh, who is a representative of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, and his waris, his inheritor. Wakil and waris, use the proper words. His representative and his inheritor. You understand? We're found. And now we're in association with him, which is what a sohbat is. Tarikatan as-sohbat fil khayri min jamiyat. Our tariqat is based on association. So now we are in association. And question, a brother asking, what if a murid feels that he's stuck? Is stuck from making a progress? It is a very good question, because a lot of people, they come to me to ask for prayers because they are stuck in the dunya. They're stuck with their work, or they're stuck with their car, or they're stuck with their husbands, or they're stuck with their wives, or their children, all just dunya stuff. But they're not really coming to say, I'm stuck with my spirituality. I'm stuck being a murid. I don't feel that I'm making any progress. And the sohbat, majority of the time, it's to help you. 100% of the time is to help you for the akhirat. Even if the sohbat is relating something about the dunya is to help you to go to the other side, akhirat. Not to be stuck in the dunya for dunya's sake. So you're a murid and you feel that you're being stuck. I'm not going to give you an easy answer. I'm going to say to you, tell me where you are stuck. And if you cannot give an answer that is very clear and very direct and very simple, that means you're still stuck with complications, you're still being confused inside your head. Because you should know where you're being stuck. Correct? Okay. And if you can identify really where you are being stuck, and usually if you're a murid, and especially if you're living in the Dergah, is it a big mystery that you are stuck? Really? Right? Because those especially living in the Dergah, this is not to exclude people not living in the Dergah, but those who are living in the Dergah, what is the most important thing for us? Say again? Hizmat. Service. The most important thing for the Sahaba Kiram was what? Hizmat. Their service to the Prophet ﷺ. That was the most important thing for them, isn't it? The Prophet had a mission. The most important thing for them is not zikr or secret knowledge or night vigils. I'm saying not the most important thing. It is important, it is very important, but the Prophet ﷺ has a mission. And Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anh, the peer of our tariqat, he did not gain the title of Siddiq by saying, now I'm just going to sit down and make zikr all night long, all day long, all my life. Or worship all night long, all day long, all my life. He gave something from himself. He gave something from the dunya. Didn't he? He served the Prophet according to his station. He was one of the most influential, one of the most richest, one of the most powerful men in Mecca. Not only he gave it all up, he gave it all to the Prophet ﷺ. Correct? So it is hizmat. Now, is it going to be a mystery when you look at your hizmat, whether your hizmat is good or bad or stuck? Is this going to be? No, it's not going to be a mystery. You will know by yourselves. And if you don't know, I'm telling you all the time, right? I'm telling you all the time. These are the things that make you to get stuck. You can have a whole big machinery, whole big, really powerful engine, a jet engine. But sometimes a little bird that flew inside, that gets stuck there, can mess up the whole big engine and the plane cannot take off, correct? Correct? So yes, these are the small things, but they're very important things. Very important things. And this is the refinement, the lutuf of your service now. So many people, for example, I was just speaking to you this morning. Huh? You want to make a service. You want to do something not for yourself, but for the good of, sit down over there. Don't make a show. Every time you come in, you make a show and distracting. Tawbah, astaghfirullah. Wait, I'm going to fix you later. Come, you're making a show. Only for me to be distracted. Then later on for other people. You want to do something. For example, something very simple. Say, you want to clean the masjid. Something really simple. Sit down, I said. Still being stubborn, huh? Wait. Arrogant and stubborn people, they are forbidden to enter into Jannat. Are you like that? You pray, you fast, you do everything, but stubbornness and arrogance is going to burn all of your good deeds. We're talking about the spirit. We're talking about diseases of the heart. Your whole body is well. It's healthy, it looks like. You are strong, but your heart, it is diseased. You're no good for nothing. Right, doctor? Huh? You're a doctor, right? So you sit down, you learn what it is that we need to learn to get rid of the diseases of our heart, of our spirit. Maybe for that one to get rid of the disease of the spirit, he has to go to the barn and to shovel manure. Right, doctor? Huh? Maybe you're a lawyer, maybe you're an engineer. Who cares? We're not here looking at your station in life. We're looking at your station of akhirat. And at that point, that level, your station in dunya may be high, but your station in akhirat is very low. You want to follow us properly, you want to follow Sahib al-Saif, Shaykh Mawlana properly, you have to reach to the highest stations of the Sahabe Kiram. It is through service. Get rid of your ego. Maybe at that time we say, go to the barn. Shovel manure. You have a problem with that? You don't have to stay. And don't worry, I've done my own fair share of shoveling manure, cleaning bathroom, and I like it. It's much better than sitting here talking, believe me. So much easier to clean a bathroom than to sit and to try to represent your Shaykh and to speak something that you are not going to be responsible in the akhirat. So now, the diseases of the heart. Person has good intention. He wants to serve. He wants to clean the masjid. We're talking about the lutuf, the subtlety of service now. Huh? He wants to clean the masjid, so he takes a vacuum cleaner and he cleans it. Vacuum cleaner, he sees, is lying around. But subtlety means you're going to be very careful about every single detail. That's what it means. You have to be very careful about every single detail, because Allah is Latif. Allah is very careful about every single detail. Don't you see the petals in a flower, how carefully they are placed? It's not chaos. You see the feathers of a bird, it doesn't matter if it is a sparrow or a peacock. You look at how the feathers, they are put together so beautifully, so carefully. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you want to be a spiritual? You be careful. You watch everyone's rights. Person takes the vacuum cleaner and starts vacuuming. But maybe the vacuum cleaner over there belongs to someone, not really the Dergah. Right? And maybe it belongs to someone that doesn't like his things to be touched. Putting his name there. Don't touch. It's mine. Whatever reason. And he used it like this or like that. Maybe the person who has the good intentions, he broke the machine. Sounds familiar? Happens all the time in the Dergah. Unusual place, the Dergah. Because the Dergah, if you start to do service, first that's going to show are your intentions, not your skills. First, your intention. We have professional chefs coming here and they burn the rice. Because the Dergah is not a social club, it's not an empty space, it's not a resort, it's not a retreat center. It is the threshold to the divine court of Allah. That is what a Dergah is. And if you're not, the threshold means before you reach to the divine court, they have to teach you the protocol, isn't it? Before you enter into, say, to see the mayor or to see the president, you're going to be briefed what you should be wearing, where you should stand, what you should speak, where you should touch or you shouldn't touch, look or you shouldn't look. You see, when you get rid of kingship in Islam, people lose everything about protocol, everything about wisdom. But they're hiding it because even this so-called democracy, hypocrisy, there is very strict protocol too. You're not even supposed to touch the president if you see him. You're invited, you're in the guest list. You have to go through so much security clearance, by the way. It's not like anyone can go. And once you are there, you cannot even touch him. If you touch him, what happens then? You're going to get his bodyguards pouncing on you or shooting you because you're a... So now, a Dergah is a threshold that the Shaykhs, they will train you how to conduct yourself in the presence of Allah. Do you understand? Don't go straight to Allah. You would not know what to do and you're going to fail miserably. Even Holy Prophet ﷺ, Habibullah, the one that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created everything for him. When he went to the Mi'raj, he was tested. What about us? You think we're not going to be tested? So easy. People saying, I'm going to Allah. I love Allah, Allah loves me. If you want to have the relationship to Allah as someone who is ignorant, which is good, it's okay, but you're going to be stuck at that level. If you want to have a relationship with Allah that the prophets they teach you, which is not out of ignorance, but it is out of what? Not being in ghaflat, to see with the nur of Allah. And that time you have to be very careful about everything. So, you serve, but you're not careful. Person breaks the vacuum cleaner. Then this person comes up and says, who touched the vacuum cleaner? It's mine. Don't you see my name there? Do not touch. And you are touching it. This person has a good intention, correct? Saying, I didn't know. I'm not supposed to touch this and that. My intention is this. But don't you see that? So now, the person who is using the vacuum cleaner to clean, and now we're looking at the subtlety of service, you understand? He should have been more careful. Because so many times, now this is especially because now we're in a trading ground. If you're not careful, You think you're helping, you're actually harming. Yes, it gets more subtle and it gets a little more difficult. Welcome to Tariqatul Aliyah. Welcome to the most distinguished tariqat. Where yes, if you didn't go through the stage where you think that everything you do is wrong, you haven't really passed anything yet. But there are others, of course. When support is given to them, they may do things openly. That's okay. They're not under the training in that way because they're already doing service. You understand? So now you look at your service if you are here. How you are succeeding and how you are failing. If you feel that I'm failing in this and I've always been reminded in this, and what is the problem? What is this? You start doing that, you start helping, because believe me, I've seen Shaykh Efendi. He used to get so upset with people that are so stubborn and arrogant. But the minute I see that person starts to change just a little bit, his heart softens. It's not to say his heart was hard on that one. No, his heart is always soft. But he is a teacher. Like the prophets, sometimes they have to be Jalal. Sometimes they have to be Jamal. It is not just one thing, drunk station of just love and hippie kind of thing that the Sufism is. I'm listening to one Sufi Shaykh, supposedly, Sohbat, saying, oh, it's talking like very hippie kind, you know. And saying things, just sharing. We don't know where is the beginning, where is the end. He's just talking blah, 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 blah. Love and this and this. And look at Rumi saying this and this and this. And oh, I don't want to lecture anyone, he's saying. I don't want to tell you what to do. I don't want to offend anyone because I'm full of love. So which prophet you follow there? It's like this. Which prophet? From Hazrat Adam alayhi salam to Hazrat Muhammad alayhi salam, which prophet are you following? You're just following your own opinion now, your own idea of what Hazrat Rumi is. Love. Love is sacrifice, love is this and love is that. But just talk. Because Hazrat Rumi, he took out his sword too. And he was also a Ghazi. He wasn't just talking about love. He pulled his sword and he fought against the unbelievers, protecting Shams. They don't like that part because it doesn't fit to their idea. They're trying to make Islam, Sufism into a Christian religion. It's all filled with love and forgiveness and everything. Yes, it is important in Islam, but you forgot about the other parts. And if it is true, in 1400 years, in 124,000 prophets, pick your prophet that is saying just that. Oh, Isa alayhi salam, he is just pure love and pure sacrifice. Really? That is your best defense? You haven't heard the news? You didn't get the memo? He's going to come back with a sword? He's coming back with a sword to be with Hazrat Mahdi alayhi salam and to finish the unbelief, to destroy the cross. The symbol there is to destroy unbelief, shirk, to destroy the swine, meaning anything that is unlawful, and the usurers, and to establish the Shariat of the Prophet ﷺ. So now find where you are stuck. Fix that. It may be as simple as I need to wake up earlier. It may be as simple as that. It may be as simple as I shouldn't be sleeping past the certain time that the Shaykh says I have to get up. It may be as simple as I shouldn't be sleeping during sohbat or zikr. It may be as simple as Hoja is saying, I need to clean this refrigerator. Let me not let him at least for 1 week to look into the refrigerator to yell at me. Maybe as simple as that. Believe me, it is as simple as that. And then what happens when they see that? They get pretty happy. They say there's a miracle, someone is listening to us. But the one who's listening to a Shaykh, he must run to do the work of his Shaykh. That time, so much support comes to that one. Yes, that time, not too many things that you need to do. Your Shaykh will pray for you because you're already serving. Inshallah Rahman, we may become better servants to our Shaykh, better servants to the Prophet ﷺ, the better servants to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you don't know how to serve your Shaykh or the Prophet, you cannot know how to serve Allah. Impossible. It'll just be according to your own opinions. We're not interested in opinions, we're interested in what? Haqq, certainty. And the only truth and certainty is the truth and certainty of the Prophets and the friends of Allah. وَمِنَ اللَّهُ تَوْفِيقٌ الْفَاتِحَةِ.